match day review here with Neeks. Neeks, final game against the Big Six this season, away from home. You scored 1 goal.
It's not good. It's not good. And that, the goals is one thing, goals are currency, but we've also lost 4-0 away to Chelsea, 2-0 away to Arsenal, 2-1 here, and then we drew with Man City and Liverpool. So yeah, the goals is one thing, but you can score goals and still lose a game like we did today. So that's, I'm not even going to really comment on that, but it's the performances away from home. They haven't been good, especially I would say the last 2 games, away to Arsenal and away to Spurs. Very defensive. Now, we know that Mourinho is a defend first kind of manager. We know what we're getting. But 10 men behind the ball, 2 games in a row, it's unnecessary. Especially when it's not like we're going for a title or even position where, we need a draw to, solidify. We've got nothing to play for in the league. The league was finished in terms of challenging for top 4 positions when we drew with Swansea. Draws have been the issue all season. Just let the players play.
Do you not think, though, going, I guess, you got Arsenal, Tottenham to play, Mourinho said it was done from then. Was that a problem? Do you think, because, mathematically you could still qualify for the top 4. Is that too much of a risk to go for Europa League? Liverpool tried it before, it didn't work.
Mourinho says a lot of things. You have to take everything he says in context. Mourinho also said that the biggest game in our history was the Celta Vigo game. You have to take everything and analyse it independently. Why has he said it? Not is he correct or is it incorrect? Why has he said it? And a lot of it is to take the pressure off the team. Nothing left to play for, just go. But it's a massive risk when you pin all your hopes on literally 1 game, 1 or 2 games, first leg, second leg, final, massively. Last year, Liverpool tried it and failed, but Mourinho's a serial winner. He knows how to get over the line when the line is in reach, and the line is in reach, and I have all confidence, all faith that we're going to beat Ajax. If we can't beat Ajax again in the Champions League, then frankly we don't deserve to be in the Champions League.
Let's just say you don't. What does that have going forward for Man United? Are you still going to be able to make the signings like Griezmann? I know you got Pogba last year using Europa League, but how many years, if you do stay in Europa League, are you going to continue to be like this to attract all the big players?
The fact that now the money is spread so much around in the Premier League now, it's already going to be more difficult to sign players than it was in the past because everyone has the finances to compete to a level. When certain clubs got wage caps, then you're always going to get one team being able to blow them out of the market. But I think the stature of Man United will always allow them to be attractive to the big players. It's never going to be a case of they're not in the Champions League, therefore I'm not going to go. If other clubs who are in the Champions League who can also match Manchester United's wage structure, transfer fee, then that's when the problem. But when you look at Pogba, Man United were the only club willing to pay that money. But Barcelona, Real Madrid, once the fee was told, they said no, we don't want to go that far. So if other clubs can match us on the level, and then they've got the European, of course it's a problem. But a lot of clubs can't match us on the first level of transfer fee and wages. So I don't see any problem in that regard of getting the big players. But you want to be in the big competitions, and I think just the mood around Old Trafford will be that much better if we're in the Champions League. If we don't qualify, it's going to be, you're still in doubt whether we're actually going to reach the level. Is Mourinho the right man? That question is always going to be there. If we get in the Europa League, there'll be 2 trophies, excluding the Community Shield, back in the Champions League, which was really his mantra. Obviously, yes, we want to win the Premier League, but the minimum is always to make sure you're in all the big competitions every season. And if he does that, then you can't knock him too hard.
2 games to go. Is there an importance of winning those 2 games to give yourself a momentum going to that Champions League final?
Champions League final.
It's been a long time since we've been in the Champions League final. Good old days. Definitely the last game against Crystal Palace. Last home game of the season. You want to end the season on a high. You want the fans to go away happy, confident, saying, okay, we're there's just a different mood around the club. If we were to lose or draw next games, then your confidence level is thinking, this is Man United all over again. We take the lead, we concede. So yeah, winning's always a good habit. Southampton game is not as important because it's not the last game of the season. You're not at home either. And it's going to be interesting what team he plays because we could play a completely different team for both games. I have no idea what he's going to do. The last game of the season, I think he's probably going to go with a weaker team because it's a few days before the Europa League final, and he may do the same Southampton. So it's really, what I would hope is that those games the players who are playing those games today was Mata, who's been out for a while, Lingard, Martial, etc. That is their chance to put themselves forward for a spot in the Europa League. And if they can't get themselves up for that, then you have to question whether they're right. They should be at the club.
Yeah. Obviously, Ajax as well. They didn't win the league today. Feyenoord won it today, so they have to win Europa League as well. It's going to be a battle of whichever side wants the Champions League football more.
I can't see Ajax beating us. Ajax play some good football, and this may come back to bite me, but I don't think it will. They're a young side, but I don't watch the Dutch league. The Dutch league, I'm going to come out and say, the Dutch league is not strong. That's why they only get one position in the Champions League, and it's not even a guarantee. They have to Feyenoord have to go for a qualifier. So the reality is, if Ajax played to their best, it still shouldn't be enough to beat Man United. They're not as good as us, even on a bad day. And we've had a lot of bad days this season. Celta Vigo, they're not a terrible team, but they're just not on the level of Man United. And when you got players, I think there was an ex-Man City guy, Guidetti, missing open goals. That's the quality of the player they've got. We just need to make sure that as long as we do our job, and I want Mourinho to trust the players, trust that you can have 4 defenders to defend. You shouldn't have to rely on 10 men back to stop a team from scoring. And we did that today. We did it against Arsenal. We conceded 2 goals in both the games. So trust on your 4 and maybe 1 defensive midfielder, and let the attackers go out there and attack. And if we do that against Ajax, I saw how vulnerable they were against Lyon in the semi-finals. We should blow them out of the water. So I'm confident that we'll win. I'm not confident it's going to be a scintillating performance, but I'm confident that we'll win. And if we do win, I can't be disappointed with Mourinho. He is a special one, and he's at a special club.
We'll wait and see. That's the matchday review with Neeks. We'll see you soon.